So you've taken the kids to Build-A-Bear at the mall. What if you could take your spouse to build a baby? That'd be interesting.
Welcome to Build a Baby, where anyone who wants a baby can build one. And we'll discard any defective or genetically imperfect babies before you even know it. Embryo Transfer Day. Cross your fingers that an embryo will stick, or 2, or 3, or 8. Not to worry, selective reduction will take care of that. Contact us and build your baby today.
So where has the world come to when fertilization clinics or in vitro clinics start advertising their services like that? Well, I have good news for you. That is not an actual advertisement for a real company. It is a satire video made by Choice 42 and Lore TV. It is there to highlight some of the ethical concerns about in vitro fertilization. Now, I have admittedly not dug very deep into this. I acknowledge couples who want to have babies and have some sort of complications from that happening, wanting to take advantage of the technology that we have. Every technology comes with ethical concerns. Now, this video does a good job of highlighting some of those ethical concerns. Like, you know, if you're bringing all of these embryos together and many of them are fertilized and they attach on the wall, and how are you, eliminating those?
To try again, or discard, or donate, or give to science. A beautiful gift.
Where is life starting? And all of these different kind of ethical questions that the abortion industry, the medical industry, and just we as individuals need to wrestle with. This did get me thinking about some other things that are going on though. There's a very interesting technological advancement that is coming up called artificial wombs.
Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility. Ectolife allows infertile couple to conceive a baby. It's a perfect solution for women who had their uterus surgically removed due to cancer or other complications.
Ectolife is not a real company. Let's be clear about that. This is a concept that a science communicator, this gentleman who posted this online, is a science communicator, filmmaker, kind of probably one of those futurist kind of people who's looking to meld technology and people and things like that. But this is not as sci-fi as you think, right? So this facility that's growing 30,000 children a year, that's not a real thing, it's concept, but this is a real thing. This is a artificial womb that the university in Philadelphia used to grow a baby lamb that was prematurely born. Now, before you go crazy and think, oh, this is terrible and evil and awful, remember, there are, tens of thousands of children born each year premature, below the 26-week mark, and their lungs, when they are born, stop developing. So when they stop developing, they can grow up, even if they're able to survive, 22, 26 weeks, they can have lung issues their entire life. There can be all kinds of developmental issues because once they're out of the womb, they no longer are developing, they're just kind of growing. So being in the womb is ideal for that growing child. As we put forth technology that could help in that, we also open up some ethical concerns. And not all of this is terrible for a pro-life movement. One of the reports that the scientific team that put this womb together put out, they talk about these ethical concerns. So one of the things that the scientific team in this research, they say that the study identifies different ethico-legal issues with the technology. So they will talk about that we need to use different terminology, right? So a child, this whatever this technology using is no longer a fetus or a baby, that they need to come up with a different term. Why do they need to come up with a different term? Well, they need to come up with a different term, because if the location of this child being in an AW, or an artificial womb, makes it the same thing as it is when it's in the mother, and this artificial womb child is being sought to stay alive and we have the means to keep it alive, it presents ethical arguments against abortion. If it's the same thing as a child who is outside of the womb, in the artificial womb and in the mother's womb, we call those things the same thing, then they are entitled to the same rights. So the ethical ramifications of this are interesting, and I think could actually present some eye-opening things. However, none of this is new. We already know that a child who is developing in the womb, or a child that has been delivered, the place that they are at does not determine their value as a human being. People who want to devalue human beings dependent upon their development stage, their dependency, their location, things like that, they're doing that for different reasons. And I don't think that this technology is going to necessarily open their eyes to that. I think those eyes have been purposefully closed for their own gain most of the time. So lots of interesting things going on in this, triggered from this satire video. We suggest that you watch the Build a Baby video, kind of share it, put it out there, hopefully open people's eyes on the way that in vitro fertilization happens. If you're considering this, you just have to think about the ethical ramifications. We are huge fans of adoption. I know many people who have adopted, and it's been amazing for them. Just encourage you to think about those options. Adoption is such a biblical concept that Christ adopts us into his family as believers, as Christians or Gentiles, kind of coming in as non-Jewish believers. But we have an amazing opportunity in adoption to kind of share the love of Christ in that way. But again, I'm not taking a stand on in vitro fertilization. I think there are some ethical questions that we have to ask in that. I think they're difficult for sure. I understand the reasoning for it, but especially in this video, some of the things that are highlighted about selection of which are most healthy or most perfect. Like, how do we decide those things as humans? There are ethical guidelines that have to be developed, because if we don't have well thought out developed guidelines in this, you get to crazy things like that Ectolife center where babies are being grown in a laboratory and you're interacting with them on your cell phone, and it just becomes this like weird experience driven thing. That is some crazy science fiction. All right, well, this was interesting stuff to me. I thought it might be interesting stuff with you guys to take a look at. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, send this to somebody else, and we hope that you have a fabulously blessed rest of your week.